Good morning, students. How are you all? I hope you are fine and you have completed the work that I have given you. And today I will start with the grammar book of class 5, as you all have got your grammar books now. So let's do the exercises that are there, the topics, the rules I have already discussed with you related to sentences, related to nouns. So let's do the book work, the exercises that are there in your book. Some we will do in the book itself, others I will tell you to do in the notebook if the space will not be sufficient over there. So let's start with page number 8 today. The first chapter that is related to dictionary we will be taking up later on. So first we will start with the sentences. So in the first page, that is page number 7, you have been told about the rules that we have already done. You can go through the page. So let's come to the exercise now, that is on page number 8 in your books. So the exercise says, put a tick mark against the group of words that are complete sentences. Now there may be some phrases and some complete sentences, and you have to tick mark against the group of words that are complete sentences. Now what is the difference between a sentence and a phrase? I have already told you. A sentence should have a subject and a verb, whereas in the phrase we don't have any verb. Verb is missing in the phrase. So this is the clear identification between a subject and a between a sentence and a phrase. So let's see some of the sentences so that you come to know the difference between a sentence and a phrase. So we'll start with the first sentence. The teacher has told us to revise our lessons. Now see, three things are there in this sentence. Number one, it is beginning with capital letter, the first initial letter. Then it has a subject, it has a verb, and there is a full stop at the end of the sentence. So it is what? Whether it is a phrase or it is a sentence, if all the three things are there, beginning with the capital letter, ending with the full stop, and a verb is also there, then obviously it is what? A sentence. So we will tick mark on it as a sentence. So I'll just write down the numbers of the sentences that are there in the form of sentence. Others are simply phrases, so I will not write down their number on the board. So you can just tick on the things that I am writing on the board. So number 1 is a sentence. So you can tick on number 1. Coming to the second one. Mohit has not yet recovered from his illness. Now tell me whether it is a sentence. Just see the things, the three things that I have told you, which are necessary for a complete sentence. No doubt it is a sentence, but they are asking for a complete sentence. For a complete sentence, three things are necessary. Number 1, full stop, that is there, no doubt. Then we need a verb, that is also there, no doubt. Has is also there, recovered is also there, two verbs are there, one is helping verb, one is main verb. But the third thing that is required for a complete sentence is the capital letter. Does the sentence start with the capital letter? No. M is starting with the small alphabet here, so it is not a complete sentence. So I will not write down number 2 on the board here, and you will also not tick on it, since it is not a complete sentence. Although it is not a phrase also, but then it is not a complete sentence. So coming to the third one, likes playing the flute. Now tell me what it is. Whether it is a sentence, whether it is a complete sentence, or whether it is a phrase. Can you see any full stop here? No. Does a sentence starts with a capital letter? No. So what it is simply a phrase, because it is not telling us about the subject, the noun or the pronoun. Likes playing the flute. So it is simply what? It is complete phrase. So we will not put a tick on it as it is a phrase, because we need to tick only the complete sentences. Coming to the fourth one, the man jumped off the car. Now see, the man jumped off the car. Can you see any noun or a pronoun and the capital letter? Obviously that is there. Then jumped, we have verb also. Then is there any full stop at the end of the sentence? No. So again it is not a complete sentence, because we don't have any full stop at the end. So no doubt it is a sentence, but it is not a complete sentence over here. So I will not put a tick on it. So coming to the fifth one now, the tourist sat by the cottage door. Now see, the tourist, we have noun. So it is a sentence and it is also beginning with a capital letter T. It is capital. Then sat is your verb, the main verb, the action is being shown. Then after door you have been given a full stop, that is a punctuation mark. So the three things are complete in the sentence. So it is a complete sentence. So I will put a tick mark on number 5 as well. And you will also put a tick on number 5 in your books. So this way you are going to do it. Coming to the sixth one now, behind the door. So now see, is there any capital letter? No. Behind, what is it? It is preposition. Do we have any verb here? No. Then full stop? No. So it is what? It is simply a phrase. So we will not put a tick on this one also. Coming to the seventh one, it is 2 o'clock by my watch. Now again see, beginning with the capital letter? Yes. Is there any helping verb or main verb? Yes. Is there? Is there any full stop? Yes, it is there. So it is a complete sentence. So I will tick on number 7 and accordingly you will also put in your books. So coming to the next one now, grandma has eaten nothing since morning. Now see, the first initial alphabet, grandma, is the G capital here? No. Has eaten, no doubt we have been given a helping verb as well as main verb. Eaten is there. Then is there any full stop at the end? No. So this means three things are not complete in the sentence. That is why it is not a complete sentence. So I will not tick mark here. So coming to the ninth one, the attic is infested with rats. Now see, the initial letter is beginning with capital T. Then we have been given a helping verb is, the main verb infested is there, and obviously full stop punctuation is also there at the end of the sentence, which makes it a complete sentence. So I will mark number 9 as complete sentence now. You can also tick into your books. Coming to the 10th and the last one, an overcast sky. Does it give a complete information? No. Does it start with a capital letter? No. Does it end with a full stop? No. Then, is it a complete sentence? No. So, we will not mark here as a complete sentence. We will leave it as a phrase. So, this was something about the complete sentences. Not sentences, but complete sentences. So, I hope the exercise is clear to you all. Coming to the next one now. On the same page, you are given exercise A. Rearrange these words or phrases to make meaningful sentences, and you have to use the correct punctuation marks also. So what I want you to do is, I just take up the odd ones and even ones you are going to do it for your homework in your grammar notebook. So exercise A, on the same page, I will be taking the odd ones, that is number 1, like 3. Then we have 5, 7. This way I will be taking all the odd sentences and even ones are your homework to be done in your grammar notebook. You will write the page number, you will mention the exercise number, you will write the question and then you will start attempting the sentences. So I'll take the first one, that is the odd sentence. So what it is, you have to arrange it into a meaningful sentence. Let us see. My younger sister will help me with the project. Then you have to use the correct punctuations also. And see, if I start with my young sister, M is given small here, but we know in the sentence the first initial letter is always capital. So how will we write? My younger sister will help me with the project, plus your full stop. That is very essential here. Then second is for you to do it in your notebooks. You will write down all the sentences in your notebooks, but I help you out with only the odd ones. You have to do both the odds and the evens, all the 10 sentences that are there in the notebook itself. So I just want to see how much you understand, and then we will tell you out the answers. So coming to the third one, it is given, what a beautiful mural. So it is an exclamatory sentence. What a beautiful mural. Plus your sign of exclamation. W should be capital here. So this way you will do your sentences. Coming to the fifth one now. Let us see. There should be more dustbins along this road. There should be more dustbins along this road. Plus your full stop. T will be capital here. A simple rule I will tell you how you should come to know that how will you make a sentence, that is known as sentence structure. It should first of all have your if determiner is there, like a, the, whatever is there, or a pronoun, then your noun, then your helping verb if it is there. If optional then okay, no need. Then your main verb. Then it can be your preposition, it can be your conjunction, it can be your adjective plus your direct object, indirect object. So this way it can have the different parts, but it always starts with a noun or a pronoun or a determiner, a or the or an apple. A day keeps a doctor away. This way articles can also be there when we begin the sentence. So the first thing you should take into account is always determiners, articles, noun, pronouns, then your helping verb, main verb followed by your object, which could also include your prepositions, your conjunctions, your adjectives, your adverbs. So this way basically the sentence is made up of. So let us see the seventh one now, the odd sentence. What it says is, we shall go to the market tomorrow. We shall go to the market tomorrow. You don't have to miss any word in between. Whatever words are there, you need to write it down here also. So this is the way, and see, W is capital and there is always a full stop at the end. Coming to the ninth one now. What it says, may all your wishes come true. May all your wishes come true. What type of sentence it is? It is an imperative sentence because we are wishing someone. We wish a good thing for someone, that may all his dreams and wishes come true. And this type of sentence, when we bless someone, it is known as imperative sentence. And the punctuation mark that is used for imperative sentence is also a full stop. So these were some of the odd ones that I have done for you as a help, as a hint. The even ones you will first solve in your book itself if you want, and along with the odd ones you will do all the 10 sentences in your grammar notebook from page number 8 of your book. So I hope you have understood this exercise. So let's move on to the next one now. So let's see the exercises on page number 9 now. If we talk about exercise B, there is one tabular form given over there. What you need to do is, they have given you the last part of the predicate. So you have to fill in here the subject and the verb. The first one they have done for you, and the rest of the 11 sentences they have asked you to complete, and you will do it in the book itself. For example, just see, they have given you the last part of the first sentence, brightly. Supposingly, if brightly is given, then how will you make the sentence? If I write here brightly and I ask you to fill in the subject and the verb, what will you write? You can write the stars, because we know subject is always the noun or pronoun. Then they have asked you to write the verb, that is main verb. The stars shine brightly. So this is your subject, this is your verb, and this is your predicate, that is basically an adverb. So this way they have asked you to complete the subject and the verb part. The predicate part they have already given you. So I want you to first do it yourself, then we will discuss it in the next video. So this is your homework, you are going to complete it yourself. You can frame your own sentences. I just want to see how you make your sentences. Now subject is clear, verb is clear, helping verb is clear, you know the adverbs. I have taken the parts of speech. That is the reason why I have taken the parts of speech in my first video, so that you can know something, what is an adverb, what is adjective, what is verb, what is preposition, what is conjunction, so that you can frame the sentences. So this is your homework to be done in the book itself. Now coming to the next exercise on the same page, that is exercise number C. Just see what is there. Add suitable words to these group of words to make complete sentences. Now again, they have given you some of the part. The rest of the part you have to complete. In some sentences they have given you subject also, they have given you verb also, then somewhere it is given object is also given. Then in other sentences you are not given the object, only you have been given the subject and the verb. So this way you will see what part is missing. Basically it is the predicate that you need to complete. For example, if I take the first sentence, I have been dash. So what you can write here? I have been what? You can say I have been punished, I have been asked to come inside. So this way you will frame your sentences. You have to complete the sentence according to your choice, but then it should have a complete meaning. So this again is your homework. I want that you should do it for homework in the book itself. No need to do it in the notebook, but you will do it in the book, because enough space is there for you to complete the exercise over there. So exercise B and C fully you have to do in your book itself. Now next, coming to page number 10, let us see what is there on page number 10. Write S if the group of words is a sentence and P if it is a phrase. So I have already discussed with you what is a phrase, what is a sentence. It is very easy exercise. So let's come to page number 10 now, and let us quickly see the 10 sentences that they have given, and quickly write with pencil S or P. S for sentence and P for phrase. So let us see. Javed meditates for an hour every day. Is it a sentence or a phrase? We have full stop, we have capital letter in the beginning, then there is a verb also. It is making a complete sense, so it is a sentence. So we will write S here. Number 2, Palak and Priyanka. No doubt there is a proper noun starting with the capital letter, but is there any verb? Is there any full stop? Does it make a complete sense? No. So it is a phrase. So we will write P. Coming to the third one, there are 32 students in Mohit's class. Now see, it is a complete sentence beginning with a capital letter, having the verb also, complete information is there, and full stop is there of course. So it is S. Fourth one, we saw Mr. Saxena in the library. Again it is a sentence. I hope the concept is clear now. So you can do it yourselves also. Cloudy day. Simple, it is a phrase. Then at the station, it is a prepositional phrase beginning with the preposition at. That will be doing it later on. What is prepositional phrase? What is adjective phrase? We all will be doing. So, mother is brewing tea. Is it a sentence or a phrase? We have capital letter. Is brewing, we have been given verb also, then object is there, then full stop is also there. So number 7 is a sentence. Number 8, if we talk about colorful dresses, simply clear, it is a phrase. Coming to number 9, his success story was very inspiring. Again, full information is there, full stop is there, capital letter is there, verb is also there, was, inspiring, very, we have been given as an adverb, that is additional. It can predicate, I have told you, it can have conjunction, it can have preposition, it can have adverb or adjective. So it is what? Sentence. Last one, the desk. So as it is clear, it is phrase. I hope you have got the meaning, the difference between the phrase and the sentence now. So this was to be done on page number 10. Now coming to page number 11, let us see the next exercise that is there. So let's come to page number 11 now. We'll start with exercise A. What you have to do is underline the phrases in these sentences. Some sentences are given, like 12 sentences are there, and you need to underline the phrases. Since you know what are phrases now, so let us quickly do the exercise and underline the phrase in each sentence with your pencil in the book itself. So the first sentence says, the boys play in the yard. Now tell me what will be the phrase in the sentence. The boys, it is noun. Play is your verb. In the yard, in is your preposition. The yard is your object. So it is a prepositional phrase, in the yard. So this way I am writing it here, but you will simply underline it like this in your books. In the yard. This is your phrase in the sentence. Then write this essay in your best handwriting. Now write is what? It is verb. This essay, object. In your best handwriting, in again is preposition, and the rest of the part is your predicate. So this is again a preposition phrase, in your best handwriting. Here subject is understood, talking to you. So they are asking you to write it in your best handwriting. So it will be, you write this essay in your best handwriting. I have already told you, sometimes you is just missing, but it is understood, but obvious. So coming to the third one now, the kitten sat between my feet. Now again, kitten, subject, sat is your verb, and between is your conjunction, between my feet. So this will be your phrase, between my feet. So coming to the fourth one now, she walked into the classroom late. So it will be into the classroom late. I hope you are getting whatever I am doing. So since we are not face to face, you can't ask me directly if whatever problem or doubt you have, but you can then ask me personally on my WhatsApp message, or you can call me and you can clear your doubts. So coming to the fifth one now, the computer was set up for gaming. Now see, the computer, subject, was set up is your verb, and for gaming is your what? Phrase. So this way you will underline it. Number 6, the parcels in the car are Diwali gifts. So the parcels in the car, this is what? This is whole part is subject, because whatever part is there before the verb, here are is our verb, so it is subject, are is your helping verb, and Diwali gifts is your phrase. Coming to the seventh one, it rained heavily all week. It is your pronoun, rained is your what? Verb. Heavily, adverb. All week again is your noun. So what will be the phrase here? It rained heavily all week. So it will be heavily all week. Coming to the next one. Grandpa is sitting under a tree. Is sitting helping verb plus main verb under a tree. Again it is your phrase. Under is a preposition. I hope you have seen my video of parts of speech. There I have told you what are prepositions. So you can also see it again if any doubt is there. Coming to the next one. The girl drove the car into the lamp post. Now, the girl drove the car into the lamp post. The girl drove the car. This is a complete sentence. Into the lamp post is your what? Phrase. Into the lamp post. Okay, coming to the 10th one now. Rishabh's dog ran into the garden. Now, into the garden. Again, a prepositional phrase is there. Okay, coming to the 11th one. The cart was pulled by 2 oxen. So, here, pulled is your main verb. By 2 oxen is your 2 oxen is your phrase. Coming to the 12th one, I will write it here. Please note it down correctly. What is there? The children were swimming in the lake. Again, in the lake. It is your phrase. Again, a prepositional phrase. In is your preposition. So, these were the 12 sentences in which you had to find the phrase. I hope the sentences are clear and the difference between a sentence and a phrase is also clear to you all. Coming to exercise B on the same page now, what you have to do is, there are some highlighted phrases like the great expectations, that cottage, renowned grammarian with her friends, that are just highlighted in the sentences, and then you have to do is, you have to write your own phrase in place of the phrases that are being highlighted. So, for example, Vedi is reading the great expectations now. In place of the great expectations, what you can write? Vedi is reading Tune Into Grammar or Communicate in English. You can write the name of any book or Discovery of India. So, this way you will have to write your own phrases. So, again, this is your homework. It's your wish where you want to do in the book or in the notebook. That is not an issue. So, you can do it anywhere, but then you have to do it for yourself as a homework. Exercise B on page number 11. Coming to exercise number C, let us see what is there. Complete these sentences using the correct phrases from the box. 10 sentences are given in the form of fill in the blanks. You have to choose the correct phrases from the help box and complete this fill up. So, this again is your homework. You are going to do it yourself. It's very easy exercise. So, see the sentence, the meaning of the sentence, and accordingly use the phrase. This way you will know how to construct a sentence. So, coming to the D exercise now on the same page, page number 12. What is there? Frame sentences using these phrases. So, this exercise I want you to do it in your notebook since there is no space here, and you have to frame these phrases into a sentence. You can make any sentence, but see, there is subject, that is a noun or a pronoun, and then there should be a verb also, and then the other part they have given you also. It should be a complete sense in all, having a complete meaning with a proper punctuation mark, and you also use the capital letters wherever required. So, again, this is your homework that is to be done in the notebook. So, this is all for today. I hope you will be doing your work nicely and neatly in your notebooks as well as in your grammar books with good handwriting, and you can complete it till Monday. See you on Monday again, and we'll discuss all these answers again in the next video. Thanks for watching.